good, the bad, and the ugly. Today's video is the pros and cons of living in Fort Worth, Texas. And I'm fixing to give you 5 great reasons that you'll want to move to Fort Worth, and 5 not so great reasons that may make you decide that Fort Worth is not your area. And you make the decision if Fort Worth is right for you. Pro number 1 is affordability. Yes, I said affordability. Sure, the cost of living has skyrocketed in the last 5 to 10 years, but Fort Worth is still more affordable than Dallas, Houston, and Austin. And if you compare it to other large cities in the United States, we beat those also in housing, groceries, utilities. So if you want to know a little bit more about the affordability in Fort Worth, watch my cost of living in Fort Worth video. Number 1. Well, it's pretty hard for me to find a con here in Fort Worth. I've been here all my life and I love the city, so it was really difficult for me to come up with cons. But con number 1 is traffic and construction. There are so many people moving to the Fort Worth area that there are tons of construction all over the Metroplex, which causes the traffic to be even worse. With all the people that are moving to this area, that makes the traffic worse. So really our traffic is getting, I hate to say, just about as bad as Dallas. But we are building more infrastructure. We have the toll roads that help out. You just need to know what times you should and should not get on the freeway if you don't have to. So the worst part of living in Fort Worth is traffic and construction. Pro number 2 is cultural history and diversity. I call Fort Worth a melting pot of Texas, or even the melting pot of the United States. We have all different cultures, backgrounds, languages, religions, races, and for the most part, we all seem to get along, which also means we are very diverse in our food culture of different restaurants, different cuisines, because we are very diverse. Pro number 3, things to do in Fort Worth, Texas. You'll run out of money before you run out of things to do in Fort Worth, Texas. We have so much going on. We have cowboy culture. We've got a lot of history, which means several wonderful museums, maybe the best in the country. Number 3, things to do in Fort Worth, Texas. You'll run out of money before you run out of things to do in Fort Worth, Texas. We have so much going on. We have cowboy culture. We've got a lot of history, which means several wonderful museums, maybe the best in the country. And we've got restaurants, we've got nightclubs, theater, we have the Bass Hall, Casa Manana, we have the stock show that comes in February. That's a big deal here in Fort Worth. And everything else, movies, children's activities. Close by, we do have in Arlington, we have Six Flags Over Texas. And then we also have multiple major sporting teams, the Dallas Cowboys, Texas Rangers, Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, and the Texas Motor Speedway. Now, they're not all in Fort Worth, but they're very short drive and close by. And in 2026, we're getting the Grand Prix racing. So there's so much to do in here in Fort Worth. Come find out for yourself. Number 3 is crime. Yes, we have almost 1 million people here in Fort Worth. So yes, we do have some crime. We are a little bit above the national average. However, if you consider Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, Fort Worth has fewer violent crimes. I would say most of the crime here is either domestic violence, drugs, certain areas, and late at night. So you just need to be careful. Keep your doors locked, your eyes and ears open, and you should be okay. I've been in Fort Worth all my life, and I feel pretty safe here in this town. Pro number 4, strong job market here in Fort Worth. Yes, we have several major corporations just to name a few, is Lockheed, Novartis, Bell Helicopter, the railroad, and the Joint Reserve Base for the military. Not to mention all the schools, the universities, medical facilities, hospitals, restaurants. So if you want a job in Fort Worth, Texas, you can find one. Number four is property taxes. Yes, property taxes in Fort Worth, or not just Fort Worth, but the state of Texas is extremely high. We are probably one of the highest one in the nation. So that's why it is very important before you move to Fort Worth or before you move to the area or before you start looking at houses anyway, is to get a hold of a lender because the property taxes here anywhere from 2 to 3% of the appraised value. That can change your mortgage payment anywhere from $400 to $800 a month, depending on your price range you're looking for. So yes, con number four in Fort Worth is property taxes. Well, okay, I left weather for the last. That is number five because I left it for last because it is, I believe it is a pro and a con. The pro is probably this time of year right now. We're in the 60s, low 70s. It's nice and cool. And typically the weather never gets really bad. Maybe say end of January, 1st of February, you might get a little ice storm. Maybe, every other year, a little bit of snow. Um, so I feel like that's the pro. Now the con is talking about July and August where it gets extremely, extremely hot. You don't really want to do any outdoor activities. Uh, but we still sometimes have some mild summers, but it does get extremely hot. If you're not used to it, it can be pretty overwhelming. So, but like I say, our winters are very mild. We do have season changes, mainly mainly summer and winter. We do have a little fall and spring. They usually only last about a month each. So I would say our weather here, and sometimes during the spring and fall, you get quite a bit of thunderstorms. So that could be a con sometimes. But for the most part, year round, the weather is a pro and a con.